America faces a growing crisis. Our federal government has accumulated debt of more than $14 trillion over the last few decades, and the debt is expected to grow significantly in coming years. This burden is a serious drag on our economy. Borrowing more and more would seriously threaten the livelihoods of Americans and our standing in the world. We must act now so that we can set our nation on a new course. First, let us try to understand how we've gotten to this point. Just like with our personal finances, the federal government has to borrow money when the revenues it collects are not enough to cover the amount it spends, a budget deficit. Gross domestic product, or GDP, is the market value of all of the goods and services produced in our country. At one point, our revenues from taxes were set at 20% of the GDP, and our expenditures were at 21%. Then, Republicans pushed taxes from 20 down to 16% of the GDP, while Democrats raised government spending to 25%. Clearly, a system that was nearly in balance has been wrecked by both parties. Reforming our taxation system and reducing the cost of these programs are critical to creating a debt-free budget. Like with a credit card, carrying a balance on loans is not free. Our government now spends about $200 billion every year just on interest payments, and we get nothing for it. Half of this money goes overseas to foreign countries that own our debt. These are the same countries who are our economic competitors. In order to keep this money flowing, we must answer to our creditors as they control our finances. This is more of a threat to American sovereignty than any terrorist plot. Secretary of State Hillary Clinton said, "We cannot sustain this level of deficit financing and debt without losing our influence, without being constrained in the tough decisions we have to make." A foreign policy dictated by foreign powers is no way to remain an international powerhouse. That's all for the first part of our seminar. Join us again next time as we continue discussing how the national debt is crippling America.